Hello everyone. My name is Talunga Primrose. I am a student of Uganda Matters University, and I am going to in this video I'm going to show what Nmap is about. So we were required as Group 1 members to search about Nmap and illustrate it or make a demonstration on Nmap. I think like most of the things are all about Nmap. But as for me, let me share the screen. As Group 1 members, we managed to do this, and my part is the practical part. So let me share the screen of our slides. The first assignment. So there we go. These are the slides of Group 1. So it is the Group 1 presentation, and this is what I'm talking about. It is Nmap. I'm going to illustrate Nmap on Kali Linux, and we shall know what Nmap is, what it is used in. This Nmap can be used. This is a program that can commonly that is used via command line, the command line interface, and also the graphical user interface. So for me, I'm going to illustrate or demonstrate the command line, which is on Kali Linux. So we are going to do a host discovery, a port discovery, a version detection, a TCP, and we shall. So that is all done with Nmap. Script scanning. It is about security. Okay, it is used for security purposes, and it is a tool that can be used or that can be trusted in auditing or scanning network or websites. It can scan IP addresses of different websites or different organizations or different companies, like, and so on. So these slides were already discussed by my colleagues. So my part, we are particularly we actually divided these slides into the members, and each member had his or her own slide. So my slide is what I was scrolling to. It is this slide 14, where we shall have to run to practice all this that is in the slide. So as I said, it has a graphical user interface and a command line. So I'm going to do the command line part, and this is the graphical user interface. That is just an overview of what I'm going to do. So this is what I'm going to illustrate, how we come up with such, where we can scan boards, we can know the service, we can know we can detect the operating system, and so on. So this one was for UMU, and that is what we are going to do. So let's go to our Kali. So let's go to our Kali. Sorry. There's some network, the network is a bit slow, but we are going to tally minus. So was mine was already open. I think I'm still sharing the other one, so let me share this now. We are going to this one. Okay, so Kali Linux is what we are going to the terminal Kali and run those programs. So this is how this terminal looks like, and I had run some of these, but let's clear off this and start fresh. So that is our Kali Linux, and we are going to look at Nmap. With Nmap, with this command line or with this terminal, I told you Nmap is about IP addresses, scanning. It is about security detection, things like that. So we can use this Nmap to find an IP address. For example, I can use it to find my IP address for this Kali and just say this. And I enter. So there I will find my IP address. My IP address is 10.0.2.15/24. So when we look here where we search to expand it, we find it here. So it is here. This is where I can get it. So that is my IP address for this Kali. We can use it to scan, maybe to know about it. We can scan it or not, or do anything that we want to find out about my server. So but my aim now here is Nmap. So since we are looking to know about Nmap, we shall say Nmap. When I say Nmap, I scan Nmap, it brings me the reference page, the page of Nmap. What can Nmap do? This is what it is telling us. It enables IP scanning, enable OS detection, version detection, script scanning, the trace route, and now it is also showing us here. It is showing us that when we use a -v, a y-v, this means print version number. The H is the print help summary. If you kind of find it anywhere in Nmap, you can know what it is saying. You can use the Nmap to increase the verbosity level of what you're scanning with this UV, or to debug it with the DD, like that. So this is Nmap is action. Nmap is really interesting. Also, we also have these examples. They show us, these are command lines that can be used, commands that can be used to scan something. So for example, we can want to know more about Nmap. What is Nmap really? We can say, if we can say this, see the man called Nmap, say man Nmap. There we shall have a reference about Nmap, a guide. Okay, so we can say Nmap network exploitation tool and a security port scanner. So that is Nmap. It is an exploitation tool and it is a security scanner. Here is a description of Nmap. That is a description of Nmap, and it is telling us that Nmap is a network mapper. Nmap stands for network mapper, an open source tool for network exploitation and security auditing. So it audits, yeah, it does the auditing. It exploits, it can be used to to do an exploration, okay, to find out about a particular target, a particular maybe network or particular website, or serve anything that an attacker may want to find out, may use Nmap and know maybe the version and maybe the IP address or anything security wise can use Nmap. So that is just an overview to show what we want to do, to maybe describing Nmap. So we can as well go back. If we click that, these are some of the command lines that can be used. Yeah. So it tells us when we are done, it directs you on how to use it. So that is it. That is that. So we are going back to what. So we started with Nmap, the IP address, and now we've gone back there. So now we want to I said we can use it for a port scan and so on, a ping scan, post scanning, for SD detection. We can use it to scan like the top spots, like 1,000 ports. You can use Nmap for any kind of scan that we would like to. So we can maybe, first of all here, we are using Kali under Primrose account. So if you want to switch the user of the account, you can switch the user. Here we just type sudo switch user what I'm forgetting is the capital U, switch user. Let's see. Switch. So when we say su, sudo su, we switch the user. It is asking for my password, so I put the password. So let me try it again. Okay, maybe maybe there is what? Maybe there is a mistake I'm making somewhere, which is just a small mistake, because for changing the user, we use sudo and then switch the user. So there we switch to, I'm trying to change from this to the root Kali. So let me do it again. Sudo So I've changed now to the root Kali. So I had put a caps lock. You have to be careful when you're dealing with Nmap. So it wasn't a capital S, it was supposed to be just a small s. So we've switched the user from Primrose to root Kali. So under root Kali, we are wanting to scan like the illustration I showed you on the slides, to scan maybe, I said I'm a student of UMU, that is Uganda Matters University. So I can maybe try to scan UMU. How will I scan UMU? the IP address of UMU. If you have the target IP address, you can just go ahead and turn it. But if you don't have it, you still use Nmap to detect the target IP address. So how will I do this? I will say this. I will say Nmap. I'll say Nmap. So I want to do a ping scan and find out the IP address of UMU. So we can say yes, and then we bring our UMU. Even if we don't do that, we can use the one that we have given there, which is Nmap version. We just use a V, a small v, and then I'm using this one. This command, V, and then and the A. Yes, then scan me. Let me try it. The organization I want to scan. Oh, we said that this is the organization I want to scan. Let's try that. I'm trying that is a that scan is completed, and it is showing us. It is showing us that it has scanned in 2.06 seconds, and it has made this scan. It is saying it has completed this scan, and it has, so it didn't get any target. We didn't put the IP address. So for that one, we needed to put the IP address. So, but for us, we are finding a scan that will give us the IP address. So if that one has failed, we can also say Nmap, and then we say we do a scan SP. Then we say .spc.ug. So our target is this one. We are trying out a ping scan on such that we can know its IP address. I told you the IP address, I have it with me. It is 196.43.185.101. So let's see. Right, there we go. We have scanned it and we have got, yeah, here it is. So that is a scan that can show us the IP address of our target. So our target now IP address is this one. So it's the one we are going to use. We can do a ping scan on it. We can do a host scan. We can do an OS scan. Or we can even scan the top ports on it. How shall we do this? We shall go ahead and use the command the commands that from the references of Nmap. So we can say we can use Nmap, uh, we can say Nmap, let's do an operating system detection. We shall say, yes, this one is dash, capital O for the operating system. When we bring that IP address, which we are seeing here, it is 196.43. 196.43.185 dot 185.101. Okay, let's enter and go on. So we try that one. We try to scan that. So let's wait and see it's going. Okay, it is scanning and it is done. Yeah, it's done. That is an so it has scanned this, okay, and it is showing us it has scanned UMO, and it has put there the IP address there, and it is saying the host is up. Okay, it is saying one host up scanned in this 0.7 seconds. It is showing us the ports, these ports which are open. Yeah, on this server we have these ports open, and it is saying the OS scan results may be unreliable because we could not find at least one open and one closed before. So that means this Nmap, this target of ours is having protection. Yeah, so it is not just very easy to just enter into its server, into its operating system. So it is saying OS detection performed. So we've done an operating system scan. So it is even warning that we report any that it is telling the ask you, please report any incorrect results at this. So the IP address is this, is address one host scanned in 7.82 seconds. It has scanned this and given us this. So if it is a hacker, if we are hacking, we shall have got some information about UMO. You can also go ahead and do another scan. That one was an OS detection. So we can also go ahead and do another scan. We can also do a TCP scan. Yeah, we can do a TCP scan. It will show us the filtered ports. It will show us the response. Okay, so that one will say Nmap. Sorry, let us say Nmap. ST. We bring the value. Okay. Then we bring the ports for UMO. You can bring the port, but usually they say the port 80 and port 443 are ever open on any website. That is what people usually use for going into or hacking other people's devices. So even you can see here, port 80 is open and port 443 is open. For those ones, they are ever open. I don't know as yet why, but they are ever open. So if we put here port 80, we can still get a feedback, or we can put port, okay, let's use 80. For Umu, its port is 1. Okay, but let's try to use 80. Okay, let's use 1. We shall also try 80. When we use 1 as its port, we can say we bring the IP address 196. 43.185 and the dot 185 and the dot 101. And we enter. So that one is a TCP protocol scan. Okay, so here it is showing us one TCP filtered. TCP, no response. It is one port and there is no response. Let's try this one. Nmap. Nmap. Okay. 80. Let's type of 80, and then we say we bring our IP address 196 for Umu. Okay, yes, 185, yeah, 101. Okay, let's go. There we go. For port 80, that one is open. As I told you, port 80 and port 443 are ever open. I don't know. They are the ones that are usually used to encroach into a server or a website. So there it is showing us one IP address. So it has done the scan in 15 seconds. So we can also do a scan when we are not, we can scan the top 1,000 scans when we are here. We shall not put any IP at any ports, so we shall use the same. Let's try it out. Let's try this enough. We want to do a scan to scan maybe the top 1,000 ports. Okay, within few seconds, and see when we don't have, when we are not indicating the ports, the port that we are scanning. So that is what we want to try and do. We shall say we want to do a full scan, a full open scan. Okay, so let's do this is Nmap. I'm not putting the port this time. I'm just putting the IP address and see what will happen. Okay, I want to put only the IP address because I'm asking myself, can't I get a feedback when I don't put the port? So, but let me put the IP address, which is 1. 196. That's 196. For this very whatever we've been scanning, 196 dot 43 dot 43 dot 185 101. Okay, so let's try this and see if it's good. So it is starting the scan. Let's wait and see. Yeah. It has still scanned when we've not put the IP. When we've not put we've only scanned the IP address, and we've not put the ports. So it has shown us its ports that are open. There's port 21, 53, port 80, port 43. So those are ports which are open, and it has also scanned them in 5.75 seconds. So it shows us the port, the state, and the service. That is, those are some of the scans that we can do with Nmap. Okay, so we can also have one more scan and leave this chapter. We can also have a switch scan. So let's scan the windows and say Nmap. Sorry. Nmap. A small s, a big S. A small s, a big S. This is also another common scan that can be made on a network that scans ports. So let's put back the IP. Our target is almost still. So we dealt with only UMO, but you can use any other IP address. You can even use my IP address and find out. Okay, that's 185 101. Okay. Okay. Let's wait and see. F1 is also done. So that is how someone can play around with Nmap to see it has filtered those spots and to show him that. So that is just to illustrate on how Nmap works, and that is for the scanning of these ports. And we can also, Nmap can be used for for anything you want to scan. As long as you can get the IP address, you can go ahead and scan it out. So that is it for now. I say thank you so much for listening to me. That is about Nmap, and we can also use the same curry for firewalls and hotspots and hotpots. That was our second illustration. That was our second number for us to illustrate. So we can also use this to go through and know how, maybe when we want to know about the server, like now we can scan the server of this room, say Nmap. Sorry. Nmap is a dash O. All these commands were given to us in the reference. If you go there, as I showed you where we find Nmap, you can get them there. What you do. I know where am I. Okay. Okay. You can see what is going on. So that was about that. So sorry about that. We also have another illustration to take on, which is also a small illustration here. I can stop the sharing and I share this other screen for the firewall. So this was also our other assignment. Where is it? Okay. So we also have this one as another presentation of ours. So I wanted to illustrate it all on one video. So this one we have still the members are the same: Creating Faye, Akio Lawrence, Imbowa, Toko Robert, Hand Martha, Primrose Salunga, that is me, Bumushabe Gertrude, Nasos Jovia, Odong Gospa, Retire Yusuf, Sembia Vincent. So I say thank you to my group members. And this is also, this one was about firewall and honeypots. So this one, I also still had the last bit of it, that is the presentation part. So this was my slide to illustrate uses of a honeypot. A honeypot targets intruders. It is designed in a nice way that it can attract the attackers. So it is there as if it is not catered for, as if it is not monitored. It is a fake, it is actually a fake. A honeypot is a fake decoy placed in a specific place to attract attackers, such that they may think that it is not detected or it is there. So it is placed at a point in a network where it appears as if it can appear vulnerable and undefended, and yet in real sense it is actually defended. It is actually monitored. It is actually monitored. So this is a honeypot. A honeypot is here. Another honeypot is there. This is a firewall. So this can be a network system. The internet is there. And then it can also make a research on the attacker. So that is a honeypot and the firewall. So this is what we want to run and see how these commands will work. So we want to run this. We can run the same scans as they are here, and to just illustrate To illustrate what? To illustrate it. I'm trying to note this down such that we can run them and see how Nmap has been really a wonderful tool for security purposes. Okay, so let's go to let's go to Kali and illustrate this very fast. The network is also very slow, but I know we can accomplish this right now. So let me go to this one, go back to Kali, go back to our Kali, okay, and try to demonstrate those commands. So we say, we can still say, we can still change the user. We can still switch the user. Yeah. And then, so we go to the current, so we use that one. Say Nmap. This one is the secret scan. Put the version. Put the port. We can use the same IP address that we've gotten from the other side, or we can use the same that we used the other time, the one. This is the 1.1. When we say 192.168.20.3. This time we're using the different IP address, so it is trying to do this scan. Nmap C one 168.20.238. Okay, it is scanning, so it is saying that's filtered and there is no response. So the firewall, so this one we are doing for against the attacks, okay, the network based attacks. So we can use this to bypass a firewall. So this one, it is saying it has completed a ping scan. It has done this scan, and it has filtered, and it is saying there is no response. One TCP transfer control protocol, one TCP is filtered and there is no response. It has not been able to bypass the firewall of this target of ours. So that is the work of the firewall. So we can also do another one still. We can say okay. .196.43.185.101. Let's try that. That command has also failed because it cannot be found. It is also protecting. So you can also have a decoy. I forgot to tell you about the decoy. A decoy is also used. Okay, can use a decoy with Nmap. We say a small s, a big S, B, 10. Let me try to use that is my IP address and see what it will bring out. Whatever comes. You see, so with Nmap, you keep on getting IP addresses and scanning. Getting IP addresses, you can also do a script scan. You can also do like a port scan. You can do any kind of scan that you feel like, and you will find what you will try to either get what you want, or you'll be blocked from what you are scanning. So let me do one more scan. Say Nmap. Say Nmap. And then we say a switch scan. One 168. Maybe you can use this one. 6. So that scan is also saying no response. So that is how we use the honeypot, the firewall, and Nmap. And all this is all about Nmap. So thank you so much. So this one, I told you, it shows us the scans, the processes or the command lines that we are to use on Nmap. Thank you for listening. May God bless you. I remain Talunga Primrose, BSIT 2. Thank you, Madam Eva, and all the group members of Group 1. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.